How are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you surviving during this time of no sports,
Man,
no athletic events?
man, it's tough. It's tough. Just working out, doing a few end of the season highlights. You know, learning on new skills, and just preparing for when it's time to start up these events and just get going again.
Do you have kids and parents still contacting you right now to put together mixtapes and other content for them?
Yeah. So I still got a few clients. People still hitting me up for end of the season highlights, even for colleges. Even though their season hasn't ended, I mean, they're just getting the end of the season highlight. I know it's cut early, definitely during the most important time, March Madness. But
Right, right. So tell everybody about, what you do and how you came about of JMixtape Productions. Um, and also talk about what was your journey like as you were creating this business with so many other similar companies in this space? So give the people a little brief introduction.
yeah, my name's Jalen Simmons. Created um, Originally created it in 2013, just making content. Um, it all started just in my college room, just messing around with editing, with the iMovies. Came back home, my mom would film all the my brother's game. Kobe Simmons, who now plays for the Charlotte Hornets, he would film all his. She would film all his games, and I just came home one week during, I think it was like Christmas or Thanksgiving, some one of the breaks, and put together a highlight. And ever since then, it's just been on the roll. I also made a few highlights of his teammates, Malik Beasley, who now plays for Minnesota Timberwolves, Kaiser Gates, who plays for the Boston Celtics, and just continued just from there, just creating content, just doing it for the love of it, really. And then LLC did in 2018. So,
So
so
you've been in the game for a while now.
I've been creating content for a while, and then just officially made it a business in 2018. So,
hmm
um,
Now talk about, again, with so many similar companies in this space, how were you able to stand out from the others? Because every time you turn around at an event, there's a sports photographer or a mixtape company or a highlight company. So how did you separate J Mixtape Productions from everybody else?
yeah, I mean, for me, it's more personal, more networking, connecting wise with the coaches, the parents. I also feel like I have a little bit better background of basketball, playing for 4 years in college and also at the high school level. Just knowing the game a little bit more and just having the connection, the network to just navigate and make highlights specifically for that player to how their game is. Yeah, so I mean, just trying to develop that. Also connecting with the college coaches now as well. These
Mhm.
past years, I've been trying to do that a lot more, just to help them get recruited, get into college, and just improve their game.
You hit it on the nail with building genuine relationships with these parents and these athletes. Do you think that's something do you think that's lacking with, other videographers that are trying to get these big time players to, come to their workouts or come to their games to get footage on them? Do you think it's because they're lacking that genuine relationship and that rapport?
I wouldn't say it's a weakness or a default. I mean, every person loves the entertainment side, loves the highlights and all the dunks. I wouldn't say it's more of a weakness, but it's just something that separates me from others. A lot of other companies, they go out, they already know who the top players are. I
Mhm.
think a different thing with me that stands out a little bit more as well is just being able to find those players. Finding that
Mhm.
top talent, um, and even some of the top talent hitting me up that I didn't even know about. There's a few players that I didn't even hear about. I go see them, they drop 20, 30, stand out, great defense, and just a winning mentality, and play both ends of the court. So I feel like
Mhm.
that's a good attribute that I have as well. So,
You mentioned earlier that, your mom would go to your brother's games and, get footage on him when, when he was playing in high school. What is the importance or how much importance is it to have that professional mixtape or highlight tape done to send out to college coaches?
Oh, it's very it's very important. Um, the way I look at it is more as a resume. I mean, you're trying to get a job position, an offer. You're trying to get a scholarship. So, just being able to have it as professional as possible just increases your chances of getting recruited, and also being verified on the actual highlight company actually helps. I feel like.
Mhm. And it's definitely a big part of branding themselves. I know a lot of kids now, when they're getting these mixtapes and these highlights done, they're reposting it to their social media. And that's only building their following because it's professionally done. They're able to see them, making those highlight dunks and those, killer crossovers. So I do think it's important for young kids to have that as part of a resume, because that's something that college coaches are wanting to see.
Mhm.
Now, what is the difference between a highlight and mixtape? Because I know when I did, go and capture, young athletes and events and stuff like that. All of my video content were highlights. I didn't really understand the difference between the two. So for the people out there that don't know the difference, what is the difference between a highlight and a mixtape?
So a highlight is the raw footage, or the actual clips. The mixtape is the music dropping, chopped up, the effects on it, just spicing it up a little bit. Yeah, so I mean that's the main difference. I mean, uh, I wouldn't say either way is wrong. I mean, both are good. I mean, college coaches, they probably lean a little bit more towards the highlights, of course, especially for workout films on a professional level. They like to look at the highlights, go over like their drill work and see how well they're doing and just improving that as well. So, I mean, but everybody, all the younger kids, they love the mixtapes. So.
Now, do you let the kids choose their own music, or is that something you decide?
It depends. I mean, some I ask them. I'll ask them what song they want. Some will give me a song, some don't know. So, I mean, I mix it here and there. Usually, like if I'm doing like a top player, I'll just make it. So I mean, it just depends really. It's no really right or wrong. So
Mhm.
I usually ask them beforehand, but I like
Yeah,
the song tell me.
because I'm starting to see a trend now with mixtapes where it's not always rap music or rap instrumentals. It's like I can't describe it, but it's just so amazing to see how it's been able to transition out of just rap music, but now it's other types of music. Is it does it depend on the type of mood that you're in or the video itself that you're gonna put out?
I always go off the player's game. If they're a
Okay.
smooth player, I usually use something smooth, like them coming down the court or something. If it's someone like super athletic, a lot of dunks, I'll make it epic. So, I mean, I kind of determine it on the player, on how the game is. So,
Okay. And what are some of the do's and don'ts when athletes and parents are asking for you to come out and get some footage of their child or themselves? Like what are the do's and don'ts? Let's break it down
uh,
to everybody out there.
yeah, it took me a while to think about that one. I know when we were talking about it earlier, you were saying the requesting. For the requesting, I always like them to, give me a background of, how their player, like how their child plays and things like that, and then I have them send in like a player form with height, school classification, stuff like that. But
Mhm.
really, in general, just making it, just knowing that it's an actual service. Don't be asking discounts here and there, and don't try and finesse the situation. But take it as a real business and professional, because this is helping them get to college. So just
Right, right. I know a few videographers that have received DMs from kids where the kid would ask them, "Hey, could you send me some footage of my game? I saw you at the game. Could you send it to me?" Have you ever had anything like that happen to you?
yeah, I get that a lot. I mean, I mean, that's a tough situation. I mean, a lot of stuff is usually in the archives. So I mean, But I mean, I'll charge a small fee and just, I'll send it out, once I find the time to be able to look through all of it and, send it out. But I mean, I get a lot of requests. I don't know, because I really don't. I feel like another thing is different between my company is it's definitely a business, but I mean the way I promote, you can't. I mean, I'm not really selling it; it's selling itself. So
Right.
I really out there just buy this, buy this, buy that. I'm just presenting quality highlights, and people are interested in getting them. So
Hmm. To this date, who would you say has been your favorite player to capture on video?
on video, oh man, of course my brother. Just seeing his growth, his development. Uh, he's definitely one, and then also I would say Derrick Jones Jr. I got to go out to Miami and film for him a little bit. Just seeing his development and just how effortlessly he jumped so high. He just won the dunk contest this year, so I mean that just verifies it. So I mean, just him just being able to look over the rim easily in the middle of drills, like I'm like chill out, we doing drills, and he's between the legs, 360 is ridiculous.
Right. And I know you working with, professional athletes and college athletes and high school athletes, but I'm pretty sure you had, a high school athlete that wasn't very talented. Their parent paid you to come out to get some video footage of their child. How do you amp up, or how do you highlight their talent when they're really not that good? Like, how do you put that into play when you're editing?
The only thing I can do for that is just show their potential. I mean, there's sometimes I'll have to go through 10, 12 games. They might be like towards the end of the bench. They might not play as much, but those few spurts will interest a coach. And there's so many levels of basketball that um, there's so much basketball out there. Like someone's bound to find you. So
Wow. So you have to go.
D3, like any level. You know, if you're really interested in, you know, invested in playing the game at a higher level, I mean, you're willing to do what it takes. So
Wow. So you have to go to multiple games because you don't even know, or the player doesn't even know if they're going to get playing time or not.
yeah, either multiple games or they'll just send in footage. Nowadays we have huddle crossover. Parents will even film themselves in the stands. So um,
Is it easier to put video mixtapes together when they send you the footage, or do you rather have your footage that you got and edit? Which one is easier for you?
easier is of course myself, just because I'm eyeing in on exactly the player and his style and how the intro would be. Just give me a sense, because while I'm filming, I'm always having like a creative mind on how I want to present it before I even edit it. So definitely my footage, a lot more. So
Okay. What tips would you give someone that's trying to get into the video, sports video space? Like, what are your top 2 or 3 tips that you would give someone?
um, number one is just create. I mean, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're doing at the time. A lot of stuff that you first make isn't going to be your best work, but just being able to go out there, network for sure, talk to other people. Sometimes I'll go over, talk to Slam or Ball's Life. I'll talk to a few of those overtime. I'll talk to a few of those players, but just getting some insight on, how things work, and also just finding who the top players are. A lot of the times, those are a good starting point. Luckily, I have my brother Malik and Kaiser, to start off with. They were already somewhat well known. My brother was number one. Malik Beasley, Kaiser, they were top 50. Um, so I had a great start just creating content. So for anyone that's getting out there, just know who those top players are, network, and just create, and just keep creating, and then you'll find
With
your.
you with you being in the game for what, over 5, 6 years now, and you mentioned Ball is Life, Elite Mixtapes. There was another guy out of Florida. I can't remember his platform name. But when you had the,
My guy,
what was it?
Two Diamonds, my guy Tyler.
Yes, 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 yes. So with those platforms starting the wave, how do you think that has transitioned, or what's different from what it used to be now to where it is now, as far as, you know, the production wise, you know, how they're promoting it? What's different from 5 or 6 years ago than what it is now?
Oh man, the before it was, I mean, it was literally one or two people on the baseline when I went to games, and then at
Yep.
that time, I was just starting up to film. I was still in college, so whenever I came home, I would film a little bit. But back then, there wasn't. There was only like two or three people. I don't even think Slam was out by then. They just came out a few years ago.
Hmm.
They came out pretty hard, but before it was, I think it was Who Mixtape, Law is Life. My guy JN started to come up. He's with Slam now, JM Slam. Um, there wasn't much, and now it's just blown up. People love the media. People love, I mean, technology. Really, technology is taking.
You're so right, because I remember when I started, I think it was back in 2013, 2014, and I was in North Carolina, the hoop state. So when I was out there, it wasn't as many companies that were doing highlights and mixtapes. But as I got here in Atlanta, that's when I started seeing people just flooding the baselines and the sidelines. Like it has definitely grown over the years.
See a new, I see a new media company every week.
Yes.
So
And
I mean,
and sometimes I think to myself, are they doing it for the fame, or like you said earlier, are they doing it because they love to create? I mean, what's your honest take on that?
I've actually thought about this a couple times. To me, I think um, people are seeing that as possible. You know, they're seeing that as possible that you can actually go out, you know, create, you know, make somewhat financially. YouTube's been a great platform for people. You know, you can, you know, monetize on there as well. Um, but I feel like people just, you know, stepping outside their box and knowing that they can. At the time, it was, yeah, it was just me, small little camera, a few other companies, but like, you know, it's just kept rolling in more and more. People love content. People love seeing content. People are on the phones a lot more.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's a new wave.
It definitely is. Like you said earlier, I go to a sporting event in the morning, I'll see maybe two or three
Man,
people on the baseline, and at the end of the night, it's like 20 of them.
I got pictures. My dad take pictures on the baseline of me. You'll just see me. There'll be Norcross game or a McEachern game. Like it was nobody out there. Yeah, I remember filming like Sharif and Dewan, Odom, and all of them like their freshman year. Like no, it's one or two people out there. So it's
Yeah,
just crazy how everything has evolved. So I mean,
yeah.
excited about it. You know, I love seeing other people's creative ideas and you know just you know seeing other people you know creating exposure for other athletes. So I mean, the more the better, and it's just been helping the recruiting process speed up a lot faster, and you know,
Do
show.
you do you feel, I know this is a question that you're probably not expecting, but do you feel that videographers support one another? Or do you think it's more so I'm gonna stay in my lane, you stay in your lane, and we'll, you know,
Oh no,
acknowledge each other when we see each other?
I mean, I feel like it's definitely a family. You know, for certain people that I see on the baseline. I mean, a lot of that's come with networking and also seeing them multiple times, like over and
Right.
over. Like sometimes I'll hit up other media companies, and be like, "Hey, you coming to the game?" Or "Hey, what game you going to tonight?" Like, so I mean, it's definitely, you know, it's definitely a networking connection, and then also just, you know, say we might miss something here or there, like we'll hit the other person up, be like, "Hey, you mind if we use this footage here? You mind if we use this?" So I mean, just building and just creating is just the most important thing. So I mean, from the
And what I would say about you, Jalen, is I remember the very first time you and I met at a sporting event. And this is just how I looked at it. But I felt that when you saw me, you were like, I know there's not a camera in her hand.
was
I
that
know she's not here to capture nobody's event.
was that at Willie or where was?
Yes, it was. Yeah. You were very nice. I'm not saying that you were mean or anything, but you were nice, but you had this confused look on your face like, what is she doing here? Like, and I wasn't in a basketball attire. I think I had on some jeans and some platform shoes and a t-shirt with the camera.
little tripod.
And
Yeah.
I was doing interviews. So a lot of people at that time wasn't doing like that, on-site interviews with the players. So
Mhm.
that kind of separated me from everybody else. But I know every single time that you and I have crossed paths, you have always been supportive. You have always been very genuine in our interaction. So I do appreciate that, which is why I reached out to you for the interview, because I'm very particular who I give my time to. So I definitely appreciate that. Now, could you tell us what was that all moment for you in your business? Like, how did you know like this is your calling? This is what you want to do?
Oh man. I mean, definitely had multiple all moments. I mean, it's just part of the journey. But definitely the first one would just be making that first mixtape. And just seeing the words JMixtape Productions across. I didn't even have a
I
logo.
did something to you, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a logo at the time. It was just a straight white screen with the font JMixtape Productions. Like, just putting that on YouTube. It got about 3,000 views, which felt like millions at the time. Just so that, and then also, just being able to go out to Miami and just film a lot of the pre-draft workouts. And there was one, I think they had an exposure to the actual combine, and there's like 23 NBA scouts on the side. I'm just like, wow. Like, so those two moments definitely stand out the most.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So I'm going to break this up into two questions. So what is your favorite Georgia basketball event to cover? And then what is your favorite national basketball event to cover? And both of those, why?
Ooh, that's tough. Man, I wouldn't even say. I mean, I feel to me, it feels like sometimes the events switch every other year. Like they switch a little bit. Some are a little bit different. Some are better at moments and there and there. But so I wouldn't give one specific. But I am looking forward to filming the team that I'm sponsoring, Team Dickerson. Uh,
Okay.
this upcoming and a lot of on the radar showcases. So I say that.
I think the last biggest event that I went to was in 2016, the McDonald's All American in Chicago.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, I was there.
I was
Yeah.
there, but I wasn't filming at the time. My brother actually was that. That's with Jason Tatum. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. My brother was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had moved to Atlanta yet. I was still in North Carolina, so that's probably why we didn't even recognize each other.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was.
was still living in North Carolina, and that was the last biggest, the last national event I went to. Because since then, I've been doing, on-site interviews, that, one-on-one type of feel, type of setup. But I would say out of all the events that I've been to, I would have to say the McDonald's All-American. But I would love to go to the Ball is Life, the Slam. I haven't been able to, attend those events either. So.
Yeah. I like the Gauntlet and EYBL. Those are two big events too. Those are
Yeah.
Peace Jam. Yeah. So those events are.
Peace Jam is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, it is filled from wall to wall, standing room only, and I cannot stand, not being able to sit down and watch a good game. I don't like people rubbing shoulder to shoulder when I'm trying to record and everything, so that can be a little frustrating. But yeah, Peace Jam is definitely crazy. It's bananas.
It's a bigger venue because it's.
Do you think they would? Do you think they would change it to a bigger venue?
I'm not sure, but it was just hectic last summer when I went. So.
Because they've had it there for the last couple of years, right?
What was that?
They've had it at that same venue for the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was my first year going, so
Okay.
I think so. Down in Augusta. So.
All right. So what we're gonna do, Kobe? I just saw your brother.
You saw my
No,
brother.
your brother. No, I was looking at your brother's comment. He said the Gauntlet over EYBL.
Gauntlet's out in LA, so their event is nice. Great weather, great people, great players. So.
All right, I have to scroll all the way up to the top here to see if anyone has asked any questions. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment box. and we'll have Jalen to answer a few before we get off. What are you doing in your spare time besides creating content, Jalen?
And working out, got the resistance bands, go running a little here and there. You know, just started reading a book called Jab Jab Right Hook by Gary Vee. So I just started that.
I love Gary Vee. Oh my gosh.
love it.
He, when he speaks, I mean, he has so much passion behind his words. Like,
Yeah.
and
There you go.
at first it was kind of intimidating because he would use profanity, but now I kind of got used to it.
I think he just had a live the other day with Carmelo Anthony. So, but
Really?
yeah. So.
I'm gonna have to go find that. Yeah, I love Gary Vee.
But yeah, Gary Vee is a man.
Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. Okay, so let's see. We have a question here. I think you kind of answered it earlier. Where do you see yourself in your business in the future?
In the future, just locking in more on production. Looking forward to making a lot of short films, a few documentaries that I'm already, coming up with ideas on. So just building on that. Also, just creating a team. Just bringing in videographers. You know, just bringing in more people to, just come up with content, film, edit as well. So just building that, I feel like, and then definitely during this time, once all this clears up, I feel like it's the perfect time to, do that. Just with a lot of the camps, they'll have 6, 7 courts. So I definitely need a lot of help on that. So.
Yeah, I was on your social media page the other day, and I may be wrong, but have you tapped into the real estate business as far as production wise?
Oh man, I've done a lot outside of sports. I mean, of course, sports is my niche, but yeah, I've done a little real estate with Severe company out of
Music too.
what was that?
Music too. I think I've seen some stuff that you did as far as
I
music.
did my first music video a couple months ago. Yeah, Perico. You want to go check him out? Pretty good artist. He's on the come up. Also did a 2-part documentary with the clothing company called Triple OG Brand. And
Okay.
you can go check that out. It's called True Story, and then True Story 2.0. It's out on Amazon Prime. So if you just type that in, you'll see it. So yeah. So I mean, I try and expand out. Like maybe here or there, you'll see it on my page covering up all the basketball stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to expand out, different companies, I just like creating, so.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I had remember seeing something that you did in the music space, and I said, okay, Jalen, he branching out of sports,
Yeah.
he showcasing his talent.
I know sometimes I'll like post on my main page, so I got a second page, JMixtape Promotions, so that's gonna be a lot of my business stuff. But like it'll be sometimes I'll post like a business video on my JMixtape page, and I can tell people are just like, what is this? Like, this is all. But I mean, I just post it anyways. So everyone's looking. So I feel like it's great exposure just to be versatile and
Right. Right, which is why I had to come from behind the camera, and now I'm working with athletes, with branding and marketing, because I knew I didn't want to be a videographer for the rest of my life because I get really bored quickly. And I commend you videographers because spending hours in front of a computer, it drives me nuts. I can't do it. I cannot.
Tough. It's tough. It's more of the tedious work. Like once I chop up all the footage and chop up how I want the idea, then it's my world. After that, I just create. So, but yeah, just really just that part of it. But other than that, I just love creating content. So
we have another question from Demon008. He asked, "Are you mentoring any young editors?"
Yeah. So, a new guy from Blessed Trinity, Ryan Attaway. I'll hit him up here and there. He's helped me. He actually filmed the Sweet 16 or Elite 8? I think it was the Elite 8. He filmed the Elite 8 for me. St. Francis versus Holy Innocents. So he's one guy part of the team. Um, and then I wouldn't say younger, but Bonafide, he's been helping me a lot. Bonafide Productions, he's a big piece to, you know, just helping me create and, you know, uh, getting content, filming. Um, who else I got? Make sure I'm not leaving out anybody. Yeah, but there's a couple out there. So I mean, and it'll be like here and there, you know, just freelance stuff. But you know, I always keep in touch. So you know, we're about to start, you know, collabing stuff like that. So
I'm glad you mentioned collaboration because I felt that, and maybe because I don't see it broadcast on social media, but I didn't think a lot of videographers collab with one another on different projects. So that's very good to hear. I didn't realize that.
yeah, I mean, it's really on you. Like you, if you want to network, if you want to connect. I know some are like, you know, to themselves, you know, editing wise. I mean, but majority of us, you know, we're all trying to help one another. If you have an idea or if you have footage that someone needs for a project, I know me personally, you know, I'm willing to, you know, reach out and, you know, as long as they credit tag me in it. So,
Please, yes, yes. That is something that bothers me when people do not tag the creator.
oh
I
man,
don't care if it's a simple photo, and I see it mostly with these younger athletes. Why is that? They'll put up your photo that you took of them, and they'll come up with this very savvy caption, but they don't tag you guys. Why is that?
uh, I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, I don't see it as a big deal because I watermark all my stuff. So I mean,
Mhm.
as long as I'm getting some type of visibility, some type of
That's a good point.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not sure. I'll even put it on my story and like, you know, at them, just know that it's, you know it's my picture. But I mean, I really can't tell.
Yeah. I mean, because when you look at people like LeBron James and all the other, NBA players and even influencers like Cardi B, they'll post something on their page that they received from somebody else, and they won't even tag their name in it. And I guess because they don't want somebody else getting clout off them, and maybe that has trickled down to the younger athletes when it comes to not tagging the videographer or the photographer. And not all of them do that, but for the majority, they don't.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess it's more of a preference on the. I mean, I really don't look too deep into it as long as I'm creating, because I mean, eventually you'll know. You know, it's you, or if you post it on your page, you'll know that it's you. So I don't
Mhm.
really look into it. I'm never the type to sit there to that. So I mean, it's all good.
What kind of gear are you selling right now? Now you got the JMixtape production
Yeah.
sweatshirts. What other gear and products are you selling?
I got the hoodies. I got the white hoodie, the red. Um,
Oh, you got red? I didn't know you had red. I thought you only had black and
oh,
white.
that's limited edition. The red's limited edition.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to send you. I'm gonna have to go ahead and send you my payment because I love red.
Yeah, you can check it all out. I got dry fit long sleeves. I got the neon, the white, the navy. I'm also doing a lot of custom gear, so I'm collabing with Laughing Gas Customs. So
Okay.
they've been doing a lot of my clothing recently. So any custom gear that you want as well, you can request it. But you can see a lot of my gear on JMixtape.com. So
Okay. Okay. Jalen, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you
thank
spending
you.
time with family. Shout out your Twitter, your Instagram, your TikTok. Do you have a TikTok?
I'm still trying to figure out how to use the TikTok. So I'll just give them the Instagram, Twitter, Instagram of course, JMixtape Productions, and then Twitter JMixtape __. So
Okay. Again, thank you so much, Jalen. You enjoy your family. You stay safe, and I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to you once we come out of this madness, so we can
yeah,
collab on
for
some
sure.
different things.
No, thank you. Yeah, stay safe, stay at home, stay quarantined.
I try my best. It's hard. It's
Yeah,
killing me.
it's tough.
All
Yeah, you
right,
have a
you
good
take
day as
care,
well.
Jalen.
All right, you too.
All right, bye bye.